God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. Friedrich Nietzsche published these words in 1882. At the end of the 19th century, the influence of Christianity was in a decline never seen before. This decline was mainly due to the Enlightenment movement, and sequentially, the beginning of existentialism. Friedrich Nietzsche is often regarded as one of the founders of existentialism. And due to declarations like Nietzsche's God is dead, as well as a number of other radical beliefs held by existentialists of the time period, it's a philosophy that has often been misinterpreted. When people think of existentialists, they have a stereotype of a J. Crew wearing, shaggy-haired liberal arts major with a strange Hemingway obsession. But despite that, existentialism has a lot of importance in our modern society. The simplest explanation of it can be summed up in one sentence. There is no meaning to life. That's understandably a little off-putting for most people, and a large reason why existentialism has such a bad reputation. But having no purpose isn't a bad thing. Rather, it gives people responsibility over their own lives. Last year, I read A Portrait of the Artist as a Young Man by James Joyce for AP3. The book is about how Stephen Dedalus grows up, and about how his beliefs are influenced by his Catholic upbringing, his Irish nationality, and the beliefs of his time period. One night, I was laying on my couch reading the assigned pages for class the next day, when I came across a part that made everything around me feel completely frozen in place. Quote, he did not want to play. He wanted to meet in the real world the unsubstantial image which his soul so constantly beheld. He did not know where to find it or how. But a premonition which led him on to it told him that, without any overt act of his, it would encounter him. Unquote. If you read Portrait, you probably remember this part. If you haven't, Stephen Dedalus is experiencing sexual desire for the very first time. That wasn't what I was moved by. Rather, it was how Joyce wrote how Stephen was feeling. In that moment, Stephen feels nothing but vulnerability. He was scared, but excited. He was free for the very first time. As I sat there and read Joyce's words, I understood Stephen. I understood his vulnerability. I understood how he felt being confronted with free will for the first time. Free will is, to put it simply, scary. It's hard realizing that you have complete control over your own life, and that tends to drive people away from accepting it. Like Stephen, I was raised Roman Catholic. My mother emigrated here from Mexico, where, according to Pew Research Center, 85% of the population is Catholic. Jesus is a large part of our culture. Because of my mother's religious beliefs, I ended up attending Catholic school from preschool all the way through 4th grade. When I was younger, I was a devout Christian who placed a lot of faith in God. But when I started public school, my beliefs began to change. I started attending Mass once a month, and then the classic Christmas-Easter combo, and then I stopped going altogether. By 8th grade, I finally declared myself an atheist, and I still am to this day. When I first started telling people I was an atheist, they always asked me why I didn't believe in a higher power. What if you die and you're wrong? For a while, I struggled with that. I struggled with the what-ifs. I had learned about hell. I didn't want to end up there. Until reading Portrait, I hadn't really thought about my beliefs about the universe a lot. I am an atheist, a very proud one at that, but I still find myself a deeply spiritual person. Spirituality and a belief in a higher power are not the same thing. Spiritualism is the belief in the spirit, or in essence separate from the physical form. For me, the spirit works in a way similar to what one of the natural philosophers, Democritus, believed. Democritus believed in the idea of soul atoms. Your soul is made of soul atoms, similar to how atoms are make up every part of your body. Then, when you die, those atoms are broken apart and dispersed. joining together in new combinations to create new souls for the rest of eternity. I believe in that. I have no proof, but I wholeheartedly believe in the inherent connectedness of human beings, without the influence of an all-knowing, all-seeing creator. I'm comfortable in that belief, because it is mine. After hearing Nietzsche's words, I became more comfortable following Democritus's theory. One afternoon, I was excitedly talking to my therapist about Nietzsche and what I had learned about him in philosophy class that day. And I was telling her how I felt when people asked me if I was wrong. And I said to her, I don't care if I'm wrong in the end. I'm only glad that I was willing to believe in something with conviction. And to that, my therapist, who happens to be a 50-year-old lesbian, said, and she will understand. I was confused at first, but when I finally understood she was talking about her God, I smiled. We understood each other. We were both comfortable in our own beliefs because we had made the choice to believe in what we believed in ourselves. Now, I'm not asking you to change all your core beliefs. I'm only asking you to question whether they are truly yours. Free will isn't scary. Having no purpose isn't scary. Creating your own meaning for life isn't scary. Well, maybe those things are a little scary, but embrace the nothingness. Make it your own and believe it with conviction. God is dead. God remains dead, and we have killed him. But that's okay.